Hi, welcome to our channel.
I hit dead on with it though. Actually, perfect. Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 18 round magazine for the Glock 44 made by ProMag. Before we get this thing on the table and take a closer look at it, I'm going to show you my very first load up through this magazine. Alright, so we got the ProMag for the Glock 44. This holds 18 rounds. I've got it filled all the way up with Aguila ammo, and this is going to be my very first run with this magazine. So let's just see how it functions. Got a target down range probably about 30 yards. Well, that's about all you can ask it to do right there. Well, as you just saw, the first load up through this magazine went as well as it possibly could. As I originally said, what we have here is a 18 round magazine for the Glock Model 44. It's going to ship in a little bag like this, just really simple. And here is the magazine. So we still have our load assist button here. Got our dual cuts in the magazine, so if you were to swap your magazine release, it will work for ambi use. Got the ProMag logo there on the bottom. This is your takedown button. It does take apart just like a standard Glock mag. And this thing seems really solid. I know most of you are thinking the same thing that I did. When I first heard that ProMag was making this, I did not really have that great of hopes for it. In the past, I have had pretty much terrible luck with ProMag products. Pretty much everything I've ever tried of theirs has been spotty at best. Fine for range use, but I really wouldn't trust it for anything serious. But I am glad to report that has not been the case with this magazine. As of right now, I have somewhere between 300 and 400 rounds through this magazine, and I have not had a single malfunction. So we're going to quickly compare the ProMag here on the left to the factory Glock 44 magazine. When the Glock 44 came out, I know a lot of people were really disappointed in the fact that it would only hold 10 rounds. Myself personally, that really wasn't an issue, since my only interest in this gun is for a trainer. With that said, more is always better, so now having a little bit higher capacity option is definitely a good thing. They are very similar overall. The ProMag here on the left does have a slightly thicker base pad, so it will stick out ever so slightly more, but you gain 8 more rounds of capacity, so I would not hold that against it. Other than that, they are very similar in their overall construction. They both have the load assist button. So even though the ProMag's is significantly smaller, I'm still glad they maintained having that load assist button on there just to help you load these mags a little better. Also, I've noticed the ProMag here has a slightly different follower, so it's just profiled a little different. I have no idea why they have done that, but as I said before, this magazine has been 100% reliable, so you really can't complain too much about that. Price on the ProMag is also very comparable. I got this one shipped to my door for $21. Up until now, the only higher capacity options for the Glock 44 that I'm aware of is the extensions that you can add to the bottom of your factory magazines. I'm sure those work, but I have been very hesitant to try those for several reasons. One being the price. Those extensions are pretty pricey, and then when you factor in the price of the magazine itself, you know, that can add up really quick. Most of the ones I've seen also only offer 5 rounds, and the ProMag now offers 18 rounds. And I also did not like the fact when you use those extensions for the Glock 44 mags, you maintain your factory spring, and they actually require you to stretch the spring to get the utmost reliability. And I just didn't like the idea of that, so I'm glad I held out until this point, and I'm glad to see that ProMag is now making a higher capacity option. With that said, I bet in the future there will be other companies coming out with high capacity mags for the Glock 44. And when that day comes, I'll definitely get my hands on some of those and try them out. All right, let me show you how the ProMag fits in the gun. Obviously, it is unloaded and the magazine is unloaded, you can see it sticks out ever so slightly more than the factory 10-round mag. But for that, 30 seconds of an inch that it actually does stick out, you gain 8 rounds out of that. So I really like the fact that it's basically a flush fitting mag, but you've almost doubled the capacity. I've had absolutely no problem with this magazine dropping free every single time. Seems to work absolutely fine. Also, it has always locked the slide open on last round. If you'll stick around to the end of the video, at the shooting footage at the end, I have a couple different tests that I did with this magazine, just testing to make sure it would hold the slide open every single time. Also, I did a little bit of drop test as well. Most of the drop tests I did were more for entertainment purposes. But I did drop it on some hard surfaces just to see if it would crack or anything like that, and it has held up very well. So stick around to the end and watch all the shooting footage, and you can see the different tests that I did on this magazine. So the only con that I could possibly give this magazine is the spring is extremely stiff, and it is going to be difficult for a lot of people to load this magazine to full capacity. Now myself, I shoot a good bit, so I load a lot of magazines. I had no problem getting this thing to hold 18 rounds, but I know for a lot of people that may be an issue, so I just wanted to mention that. I only have 300 to 400 rounds through this magazine at this point, so as time goes on, that spring may break in some and become easier, but for now, it is very stiff, so I just wanted to mention that fact. All in all, I have been very pleased with the performance of the little 18-round ProMag, and if I do have any problems with it in the future, I'll be sure to come back and tell you guys about it. As of right now, I think this is the best option for a higher capacity Glock 44 mag that is currently on the market. Also, if you guys hadn't seen my original review on the Glock 44, I will link it in the description below. At the time of my original review, I had 7,500 rounds through the Glock 44, and I will be coming back in the very near future and doing an update. I don't want to ruin the surprise too much, but I have a significantly higher round count through this gun at this point. And in my eyes, it is still the best 22 trainer that is on the market. Well, that about wraps it up, guys. Stick around to the end of the video if you want to see some of the testing that I did with the ProMag. Also, if you aren't following me on Instagram, I would appreciate that as well. If you have any questions that you want to ask me directly, that is the best place to do so. And as always, thanks for watching. See y'all next time. What I'm going to do is I've got 10 rounds of ammo laid here on the barrel, and I'm going to load them into the magazine one at a time and shoot them out individually. And the reason that I'm doing that is to see if I get slide lock every single time. Obviously this isn't practical. I'm just trying to accelerate the rate that I use the magazine to see if it's going to keep working. And then, like I said, mainly just testing to see if I get slide lock every time. I've got a 2-inch dot down range at about 11 yards, so I'm going to put all 10 into that. Well, that is 10 for 10. It locked open every single time, so you can't be mad about that. Been dropping it a good bit, doing reloads and things like that, and it seems to be holding up well. So now we're going to get into a little bit more accelerated test and start doing some pretty absurd drop tests and just see if this thing breaks. Going to drop it on this steel plate here from shoulder height. That was a good bounce. Let's do it one more time just for good measures. And we'll do it one more time straight on the Phillips. That was a good solid hit. And let's see. No damage that I can see. So I'll load it up and keep on shooting it. After doing my drop test, I've got the ProMag all loaded up. I don't see any damage, but we're going to test it out, make sure it still functions correctly. Still working.